Good afternoon, Needham families. This is take 3 of Mr. Purley reviewing the NWEA Student Progress Report. I will highlight some of the components of this report that you may have received at your conference night with parent or with teachers, or at the end of the week sent home in your Friday folder. So let's start over here on the right in this little box. We do have the term that the test was given. So it may say FA 18, that means fall of 18. SP stands for spring, and WI stands for winter. The grade level at which the student took the test. And then we have their RIT score, which we like to refer to as what they're ready for today. So that number correlates to some skills that we know go with that to teach them that they're ready for today. And we have their growth from like the last year term, and then their projection for this year. So this child's projection is 13 for this year. Right now they're in the 67th percentile range, and percentile range means that is how they are compared to all of their peers of that same group that take this test. This data is actually referenced back to 2015, where they had hundreds of thousands, if not millions of kids take the test, and they came up with these averages and rankings. 50 is completely average in a percentile, so that would be what is typically average. Then anything above 50 is above average, anything below 50 is below average. Now we'll go over here to the graphs on this report, and I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit here to make that show up a little bit better. Just kidding, I'm not zooming in at all. It was worth a try though. Over here on the far left, we just have the last 5 assessments given in the bar graph. Otherwise this page would have to be in landscape form. So this here isn't really relevant to today because it was in first grade, and the first grade to second grade test changes considerably. It is read to students in first grade, and then in second grade they have to listen to the test and then read it on their own actually in second grade, and then answer the questions. So it becomes a little bit more difficult. All the numbers are still norm referenced, but the comparison between a first grade score and second grade score isn't really apples to apples. So we will stick with fall of 17. This child would have been in second grade at the beginning of the year in the fall, scored a 191. That is above the district grade level mean or average in orange. Not really relevant data here. That's just all the other kids at Franklin. Typically, students score a 177. That's the average score. So she's well above average. Over the course of the year, took it in the winter, 194. Took it in the spring of her second grade year and scored a 199. So we had a +8, as was also indicated over here. This is the end of second grade. So nice growth there. The typical growth from a 177 to a 192 is actually 15 points. So it did not quite meet the projected growth there, but still did stay above the norm for that grade level by about 7 points. We noticed a summer regression here. The child actually regressed 3 points as they took the third grade test, and typically the regression is 2 points. So still maintaining that above average performance. We see the projected growth of 13 for this child. So if the teacher uses this number and picks out the skills that are indicated for this child to be learning, they should meet that growth of 13 points for this school year. We also have a breakdown here of the specific skills within mathematics: number sense, algebraic thinking, measurement, computation, geometry, data analysis, and stats. We will notice here that number sense is actually this child's lowest, so that will be one of the key areas for the teacher to focus on to make sure that they grow this year, is making a weakness a strength. In reading, we have literature, which is your typical text, your made-up stories, your fairy tales, etc., are literature. You have your nonfiction, which is your science-based factual text, and then vocabulary. Lastly here we have lexile range, which is the student's reading range. In Dibbles, we saw that often referred to as a letter, an A, a B, a L. Is now converted into a number, and that 445 to 595 for this particular student, they could take that to the library to choose just right books that have appropriate vocabulary, appropriate length, and complexity of the text that they're reading. So another key piece of information that we use there. Thank you. Hopefully you found this NWEA report review helpful.